Hello everyone, welcome to yet another session of the daily news analysis by SRIRAM'S IAS, where we take up the important articles that feature in the Hindu newspaper and break them down for our understanding from the examination point of view. Let's start today's discussion by taking the important articles from the newspaper. The important articles which are appearing on our screens will take up the first article for the discussion. The first article which appears in the newspaper now reads, Modi unveils India's first global bullion exchange. Now, this is an important article because this talks of India establishing a first global bullion exchange. So, in this aspect, we'll discuss what this concept is all about, and it becomes important for us from the point of view of GS3, where we study the concepts of Indian economy. So, what is the article saying? India has, through the Prime Minister, has inaugurated its first bullion exchange, right? That is known as the India International Bullion Exchange, or IIBX, at Gujarat's Gift City. So, the first, what do we mean by bullion? Bullion is a name for given to physical assets such as gold, silver, that we generally call as bullion. So, as we have the National Stock Exchange where shares of companies are traded, so this would be the first bullion exchange where commodities like gold and silver also would be traded, and it is inaugurated where? This is also important, at the Gujarat's Gift City. Now, Gift City, or the Gujarat International Financial Technology City. This Gift City is also a unique concept for those who don't know. This is a special area which is established in the region of Gandhinagar in Gujarat, which means that this is an area where companies are allowed to establish and run in foreign currencies, and they are given tax holidays, much under the SEZ, or Special Economic Zone Act. So these are special regions established to further financial services and business growth. So one such example is of the Gift City. This is the first and the only up until now international financial technology region to supplement international businesses. So in that region, the Indian International Bullion Exchange has been established. So what is the importance of it, right? As we see, the Gift City, or the Gujarat International Financial Tech City, it's India's maiden international financial services center, or IFSC, located between Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar. So now talking about the speciality of IIBX, or India's first bullion exchange. As I said, up until now, if stocks were traded, government securities were traded, now India wants to enable a mechanism for global trading on gold as well. And India is one of the largest importers of gold, and the demand for gold in India has shot up, especially after the times of pandemic, where people are not wanting to invest in volatile assets such as currency or others, but want to invest in reliable physical assets such as gold. That is why the demand for importing gold has shot up, and that is why we see that India is making a lot of options to trade in gold. So the idea of establishing a international bullion exchange was already mooted, was first announced in the Union Budget of 2020 for easing the gold import by jewelers in India. So what is it? It is a platform that not only enrolls jewelers to trade on the exchange, but also set up necessary infrastructure to store physical gold and silver. And qualified jewelers will be permitted to import gold through the IIBX. So earlier system, in the earlier system, what used to happen, if this exchange will now facilitate trading, how would earlier, what was the system for importing gold from other countries earlier? So earlier the system would be that these jewelers would have to import gold through certain scheduled banks, certain listed banks by the government, and these banks used to import gold and then charge a certain fee and then lend all this gold to the jewelers. So by establishing a bullion exchange now, many people, not just the jewelers but also non-residents who want to invest into gold, can directly now buy gold from the bullion exchange, and that is why it will facilitate as a platform for trading and also build infrastructure for storing the physical gold and silver. So this has, we can say that, deinstitutionalized the structure of importing gold, which earlier used to happen via the mechanism of banks which used to import. Now via the exchange, anybody certain qualified members would be there as conditions, and they can buy gold from the trading platform. So which is the notifying authority? The International Financial Services Centers Authority, which is in the GIFT City, or the IFSCA, is interested with notifying the eligible qualified jewelers in India for directly importing gold through IIBX. And who are the people who are eligible to do this? So apart from the qualified jewelers who would be enlisted to import gold, non-resident Indians and institutions will also be able to participate on the exchange after registering with the IFSCA. So one has to register with the body and then they can trade on the platform. So in the medium term, institutions such as funds for gold ETF are also expected to participate. The other schemes also which floats into the market, which is the gold exchange traded fund, right? All of these funds and instruments would also be with time enlisted on the exchange. And what are the products available for trading, which means that what kind of gold can be bought? So initially gold of 1 kg, that of 995 purity, and of gold of 100 grams of 999 purity with a T+0 settlement. This is a term of settlement. 100% upfront margin are expected to trade at IBX. So generally when bullion is traded in such exchange, the gold is traded in the form of 1 kg gold biscuits or bars. Such kind of products are traded. So 1 kg gold and 100 gram gold would be traded. And later on, the products will be extended for T+2 or contracts with margin payments, where settlement for funds happens 2 business days after the order is executed. And a separate segment for the UAE gold or gold with large bars, that is 12.5 kg bars, may trade in the future on the IIBX. So this is with respect to the future developments as to what can come next. And silver products will also be made available in the later phases. So this is the structure that is there right now for the gold, for the bullion exchange. What can be the benefits of this? So as I said, it will deinstitutionalize the process to import gold and other bullion, wherein not just the banks but also other people and qualified jewelers would be allowed to import gold, and anybody can trade on this platform. So this was the discussion with respect to the first International Indian Bullion Exchange. With this, let's move on to our next article for the day. The next article which appears in the newspaper reads, Manas Reserve has 2.5 tigresses for every tiger. Now, as we know that yesterday was the Global Tiger Day, and on that aspect, the Manas Reserve, which is also the Manas National Park, Manas Tiger Reserve, has given out its data that there are 2.4 tigresses for every tiger. So with this, we'll study the important points with respect to the Manas National Park and Manas Tiger Reserve. So this becomes important for us from the point of view of GS3, where we study environment and the prelims examination as well. So let's look at the location of Manas National Park first. So this is a national park or biosphere reserve. Why am I saying national park, biosphere reserve? Because Manas National Park or biosphere reserve is a protected area which is accorded with a variety of statuses, such as it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a tiger reserve, a elephant reserve, and a biosphere reserve as well. So that is why it can be called with different names. It is a national park, UNESCO World Heritage Site, tiger reserve, elephant reserve, and a biosphere reserve as well. And it is situated at the borders of India and Bhutan. So therefore, a part of Manas National Park is in Bhutan and a part of it is in India. So let's look at it. It is located in the Himalayan foothills in Assam and contiguous with the Royal Manas National Park in Bhutan. So the version in Bhutan is known as Royal Manas National Park. And why the name Manas? Because the river Manas flows through the west of the park, and through which it derives its name. And Manas is the major tributary of Brahmaputra river. That's how it takes its name. And it is located in 2 districts of Assam, that is Bongaigaon and Barpeta. We often hear in the prelims examination, we see the question based on how many districts the park is based in. So these are the tiger reserve is based in Bongaigaon and Barpeta districts, and the name is originated from the Manas river. The park is known for its rare and endangered endemic wildlife such as the Assam roofed turtle, hispid hare, golden langur and pygmy hog. It is also famous for the population of wild water buffalo. And with respect to the human history part, the Pagram is the only forest village located in the core of the Manas National Park. So this was the important information. Now, what is the article saying with respect to the tiger population? The article says that according to the camera trapping assessment stipulated by the NTCA or National Tiger Conservation Authority, the 2837.31 square kilometer reserve. So the total area is around 2800 square kilometer with a critical tiger habitat area of 536 square kilometer. So this is also an important concept, that is of a critical tiger habitat, which means that in the larger area of the protected area, that is a reserve or a national park, there is a smaller area which is designated as the critical tiger habitat, which means that this habitat is very critical for the tiger and therefore specially protected, and that is around 536.22 square kilometer. It has around 52 adult tigers along with 8 cubs. So that has been the information recorded by the Manas National Park authorities. So this was the information which was important from the Manas National Park point of view, and with this let's move on to our next article for the day. Right, before we move on to the next, one mention also needs to be done about the national parks of Assam, because recently 2 new national parks was added. So we should know the total number of national parks that are there in Assam. So 2 being added, now the total count has reached to 7. So there are 7 national parks in Assam which we should know of. The recently added are Raimona National Park and Dihing Patkai National Park, and earlier there were 5. That is, one is Manas, Orang National Park, Nameri National Park and Kaziranga National Park and Dibru-Saikhowa National Park. So these make the 7 very important national parks of Assam which we should remember, right? Now we'll move on to our next article for the day. The next article which appears in the newspaper reads, Kerala keen to replace wheat with ragi from center. Now this article becomes important because few days ago the center had asked the states to lessen their wheat allocation and depend on other substances, as center wanted to increase its exports to wheat, and it also told the states to increase their production for rice and wheat. So in this aspect, what Kerala has done, that it is wanting to replace its nutritional needs from rice and wheat, conventional methods or conventional crops of rice and wheats, and shift to a crop known as ragi. Now this is a very important development because the production of millets, ragi is a form of a millet. The Indian government is focusing a lot on millet production. Why is it doing so? We'll take a look at that, and we'll look at some important points with respect to the crop of ragi. So how does ragi look? This is what we call as ragi, and this is the crop. So what is happening? We know that there is an undue importance given and sort of disproportionate importance and stress is given on the production of rice and wheat. And rice, as we know, is a very water intensive crop. It takes a lot of water, and these crops are very season specific crops where they need the amount of temperature and rainfall that is required for them to grow. But there is a special type of crops which require less of these rainfall and can grow in a lot of states and in a variety of conditions. These are known as millets. Millets are also called as superfoods. Why are they called as superfoods? Because, as I said, apart from their ease of growing in multiple regions and can be grown as a kharif crop, rabi crop, in between kharif and rabi crops, apart from that, these millets are very rich in nutrition as well. So which are the millets? One is the finger millet. Finger millet is nothing but also known as ragi. Then we have sorghum. And these are some important millets. So these crops clubbed together are together known as millets, of which ragi is one. So Indian government has realized that in order to bridge the nutritional security gap for India and also to diversify the crop production, it's important that we also shift our focus from the traditional crops to other crops, and therefore India is wanting to focus on millet production. So in line with this, Kerala now is asking to substitute its wheat allocation with ragi allocation, wherein it feels that in the fair price shops under the National Food Security Act, what we know as the ration shops, it would give, apart from wheat, it would also give certain amount of ragi and also chickpeas, white chickpeas, or what we call white chana in Hindi. So that would be given to the residents of Kerala in order to bridge their nutritional requirements. Chickpea will provide them with protein and ragi will provide them with various other benefits, especially the source of iron because of the prevalence of anemia in a lot of girls and children in the not just in Kerala, but this is prevalent across the country, but Kerala will do it to take care of the residents of Kerala and take care of the anemia, which means that when there is deficiency of iron in the body, anemia is caused. So ragi would be provided to take care of anemia. So let's look at some important points with respect to ragi, which is also known as finger millet. So it's mainly grown in drier parts of South India. As we can see, drier parts, which means that it's a very easy growing crop and can grow in the drier parts as well, mostly in South India, and therefore consumed also mostly in South India, mostly in the drier parts of Karnataka. Finger millet is the richest source of calcium, so it has rich source of calcium as well, and it requires a warm climate and 50 to 100 centimeter rainfall. So requiring 50 to 100 centimeter rainfall is not a very high amount of rainfall requirement, and it is raised on a variety of soil. So as we can see, this is also an advantage where variety of soils it can use to get produce yield. Red, light, black, sandy, well-drained, alluvial, or on all soils it can grow, and it is a rain-fed kharif crop which is sown between May and August and harvested between September and January. So all the millets, ragi is a rain-fed kharif crop, but other millets can be grown as kharif crop as well and rabi crop as well. Then, as I said, Indian government is focusing, and that is why it has pushed, and therefore 2023 will be known as the International Year of Millets. And this is the importance granted to millets and production of millets such as ragi. So what is the production and distribution? Which state is the highest producer for ragi? So Karnataka is the largest producer. Around 73.23% of the total crop is grown by Karnataka. Uttarakhand comes at second, and Tamil Nadu comes as third in the production of ragi. And other states which are also prominent in its production are Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, and other are important producers of ragi. So these are the states generally in the southern part of India which grow the crop of ragi, which have immense benefits. So what are the nutritional benefits of ragi? It is a rich source, as we saw, of calcium, iron. This would be used to treat the anemia conditions in the kids and other residents of Kerala, protein, fiber, and other minerals. It has low fat content and contains mainly unsaturated fat. It is easy to digest and does not contain gluten, and it is considered one of the most nutritious cereals, which helps in keeping weight in control, maintaining bone health, lowering blood cholesterol, control anemia, and for diabetics because of lower glycemic response, that is lower ability to increase blood sugar levels. So as we can see, there are a host of benefits containing iron, calcium, protein, maintaining blood sugar, reducing weight, reducing anemia, and it is also rich in amino acids, which are vital in normal functioning of body and are essential for repairing body tissues. And if consumed regularly, ragi could help in keeping malnutrition or degenerative diseases and premature aging at bay. So due to its benefits, we can call it as a very good move by the Kerala government to introduce in its fair price shops, reduce reliance on conventional crops and give importance to nutritious crops such as ragi. So this was the discussion for today, where we took up these articles, and we'll meet again on Monday with the important articles from the newspaper. Thank you.